Dan coming?
I invited him and he said he was gonna try to make it, but maybe he'll end up coming via Zoom.
Okay.
I spoke
I know
yesterday before I realized how rainy it was gonna be.
he was here earlier because I was in the Board of Civil Authority meeting. And he showed up, we didn't know he wasn't supposed to, but there was some other meeting going on.
Well, it's 7 o'clock and we're all here, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And then I was gonna make an agenda, a revision. I'd like to add before we leave to just approve. Or, review and approve the town report narrative that we all looked at, just so that we could do that for the record. And then also I've been asked to submit it to budget and then again, and I'd like to talk to Karen about how we should. Cause I've never, we're not really directly involved with how the town, what we spend money on, so. I wanna just see if Karen can help us out or something. So it's the DRB budget we need to submit to.
Yes,
Budget.
and as I think I told you all, that Carol says that the administrative assistant comes out of the DRB budget. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that, and
Okay.
there's like lawyers' fees, which we always have to go through the select board and ask for.
Okay.
There's training fees, which we haven't ever really used in the last number of years. And then there might be some office supplies, but I think we decided last year just to roll it all into zoning, cause her being the zoning
Okay.
administrator does all that work, just make it simple, so. But last year Jim did it for me. So
Oh, that was nice of him.
yeah,
But he's not here anymore.
right. So the hearing starts at 5:10. Is there any other agenda?
I guess I'm taking minutes again.
Yeah, thank
Well,
God.
we've got the transcription going.
Oh, excellent.
Now, it's not gonna be perfect, but between that and the recording.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it should be
That'll be
okay.
easier.
It is what it is.
No,
I don't think we want every single word.
No.
It'll certainly help.
The takeaways, yeah.
Okay.
careful what you say. Well, we can review and adopt the meeting minutes from the November 11th meeting, which are right here. And did you both have a chance? Did I look at them too?
I looked at them very closely because I wrote them.
I'm sure you did. You have a chance?
Yes, I did.
I think I read them too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I made an amendment.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, then with that amendment, I support adopting them.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah,
I agree.
okay, so then we've done that, thank goodness.
Okay.
And Karen's not here, so we'll just wait for Karen, see if she has anything to add as well. Hello,
Hello, Dan.
Dan,
Yeah.
Yes.
welcome.
You can sit anywhere.
Okay.
Our first business starts at 10 after all the hearing, so we have a few more minutes and we're.
All right. 2.
2 minutes, oh great. I saw that you sent around the AA job description and asked him to
Yes, I
post
did.
it, yeah. Did you want to field people as well?
Sure. I haven't heard back from him to confirm that he has seen it, because he doesn't always see things.
Okay,
I will do that. What's tomorrow? Thursday, so Friday, I'll be in
Okay.
touch with him.
okay, can you post it or?
Sure, I can post it.
I don't think, I mean, I saw it early, probably. I thought, whether I didn't see it on it.
There's Adam. Oh.
Hello, Adam.
Hello.
Y'all made it downhill in the rain.
Wasn't too terrible.
My driveway is a mess.
Yeah, I came to Plainfield this morning and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I came down and still on. 3:30.
1 minute.
Okay.
First off, it's like second,
Yeah.
it's all slush, it's very shitty. Actually, I took May about that.
Oh, actually 7:05.
Supposed to
We did the minutes.
Yep, we did.
Okay, so that's 7:10.
Dan, I can't get the door between the elevator and the back office to lock.
Okay, I'll try to do it on the way out.
Okay. Original.
Okay.
Copies.
Yes. Yeah.
You wanna share?
Sure.
They get you all signed in?
Doesn't work.
I know I have a copy in my, on my computer. Are you gonna be saying anything?
I don't think so.
Let's just have you sign in just in case.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm happy.
I should have a clipboard, but I don't. Oh, Harvey Hill, that must be fun coming down that
I
one.
don't know, it's getting up to that spot. I've never not gotten up with my sedan, but twice in the last week I couldn't get up it. Yeah, last week we got some bad weather. Just the ice is just. Yeah, the rain's actually probably fine, I'll probably have no problem getting up it today.
Fine.
On the forward, that's to and to you, and they.
Was fine too.
Okay,
Conversation about.
okay, thank you.
I hear it was 16.
So Judy took it in, Ryan took it in.
What a violation, man.
Yeah.
Well, easy.
Well, that's pretty. That's why they're gonna show a computer version that's busy in there.
Oh,
Like some.
And you do? That's how it's done.
Is there a date on that map that we can't see?
Yeah. Very lot.
But
This is a map we received.
I'm sorry that it looked like that.
Calling yet?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah. I
Item
think
10,
it's-
yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna open a continuance hearing for Devin Lynch's appeal for a variance of setbacks in forest and agriculture on 79 Union Road. And we had asked, is it continuance? Because Devin, we needed, as you know,
Excuse me just a minute, there's a hand up, are they able to hear us?
That's not.
Oh, I think that's the first.
Okay,
That's
just
where
wanna
the
make
first
sure.
one
can everybody hear us? If you can't, turn off the mic and let us know.
Hey, yes, we can hear you. I did put a question in the chat. It looks like you guys are all reading something. Has there been documents submitted and therefore can we access those virtually?
Sharon,
I need the packet so I can I see the packet so I can,
the original is right here.
well, if they're all.
Okay. Yeah, we are reading, and Devin did submit information, and he submitted some information via phone, my phone at 6, which I just also submitted to Karen via email. And I think that's, you're gonna probably officially submit this stuff into evidence. So the chat's not open, should I open that chat so you can see that? Okay.
Same question. Well, are those going to be able, can you email that to the folks that are on the line or link it in the chat somehow? And same question with the previous meeting minutes.
Yeah,
I didn't see that was on the website, so we couldn't read the minutes to make sure that what we talked about at the last meeting was conveyed.
Who's the individual party?
That's Ryan.
Ryan Christensen.
Christensen.
Sorry, Ryan Christensen.
Thank you. Ryan, those are all really good questions. So our draft never got put up on the draft minutes for 11. We don't know.
Just the video was out there,
Okay,
the video was out there.
so when they were done, we've lost our AA, so now everything's like multiple
It's got administrative issues, so it's not flowing as
smoothly and
smoothly
they
as before. Yeah, I see the videos on that.
Brian,
The
all
only reason I asked about the minutes was just because of the confusion of the last meeting. I just wanted to read it to make sure there was no confusion. This is the final hearing. Is that accurate?
It is in the minutes.
Yes.
The minute says, what it says, following the discussion, your DRB unanimously approved the motion to continue the hearing. And the intention that is to be the final hearing on the matter.
Okay, thank you.
That's what was stated.
Does everybody need to be sworn in or is that later?
Yeah, we need to be sworn in. Let me find my affirmation. I'm still trying to settle in here with what we're doing, and Ryan's asking for information, and it would be really nice to be able to make that available to the people who are online.
I'm working on it.
So Karen's working on that, and I did send you an email as well, if you might wanna send it to them as well, forward, I just sent it from Devin, that it said, I received it 6:04 or something like that today.
What is it?
It's letters from Chase and Chase. Their email correspondence from Chase and Chase.
They are not, and there's no way for me to print them.
From here,
No, because another administrative problem with that register.
there's also attachments to that email. I'm happy to.
I didn't see it.
There's one right there.
Oh, that one, okay. No,
That's the drawing that Devin did and had submitted in the past, that was attached.
Yeah.
I didn't question as to where this is.
Yeah, only Karen has that.
But you could have told me, emailed it me.
And there's an
This is-
estimate
this is,
PDF
totally-
here that
Totally,
I would say.
totally.
I understand, but also you didn't communicate with me that you.
Well, this was sent to the engineer, Jared Tevin.
Oh, well, that's,
Which is part of the reason why you couldn't actually design it.
And
we
people
would
claim
really
email
like the
to
real
you
copy
that they
that goes to
didn't
the
have a
copy.
good copy.
Yes.
Very good.
Very nice.
Well, let us start our hearing with everybody raising their right hand and agreed to the following oath, that I hereby affirm that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalty of perjury. So you affirm?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here we are again in a difficult, complicated situation, and Derek had submitted some of the information that we asked for him, and I'll try to be orderly about it so that everybody can hear it. I received an invoice, which you just saw, and it does for pumping out the septic tank. Now, that's the in-ground septic tank.
Well, they pump both, it's up to 1,000 gallons, so they just charge at 1,000 gallons.
Both what? Both your.
They pump the septic and then they pump the camper.
Okay. And then, so then what is he saying, the tank is plastic and slightly misshapen?
Cause that's the septic tank that he did.
In.
Yeah, they
what,
inspected the
in
tank
ground.
and the system, yeah.
So as you see here, it said the cover damaged and that you had dug it yourself. And that the tank was normal upon arrival, and system appears to be functioning as designed at this time.
It's designed.
That's what, and that was from July 24th, 2024. That this that's a payment due date. Let me look at this again. Gallons pumped was 500 gallons. Let me look at my phone because that printout doesn't seem to have all the information that I got on the email.
I thought we were asking for receipts from back to 2021.
Were we?
Yes.
Yes,
And how do you,
2021, I didn't,
how do you propose to get those?
I weren't there in
sheets?
2021.
We can't do a spreadsheet.
Has there been any pumping since July of 2024?
No, that was it, like I said, we don't shower there, we only sleep there. No one's there all day, none of that,
No water in the camper?
no. It's heated and food, that's it, it's all by propane.
If Kingsbury inspected this tank and the tank is legal.
No, we've already determined the tank is past the number of years,
That's the
Because-
leach field.
2004
No.
to 2009.
Excuse me?
My name is Kim Nolan, I live
If
at
you
one
have
thirty-four
a
Bean Road.
polyethylene tank, it is good for life.
We're not,
The
he's
life
not
of the
supposed to be
tank.
pumping into the ground, he's supposed to be just putting his septic into the holding tank in the camper, which might be 30 gallons.
I'd like to not have arguments here.
Right,
I'd
yeah.
like to be
So
civil
I
as
agree.
possible,
So
and I
that-
know this is a very difficult situation. You guys are trying to live on your property that you got from your mother, and you guys are concerned about the health and of the river and your neighborhood. So we're gonna try to do our best to address things. Dan, part of what I feel like we have under consideration are a lot of things. The DRB has a narrow view of what we can do here, which is he's applied for a variance for a small, irregular small log to be built upon. It has a lot of limitations, and in the email I got that you sent from Chase and Chase, it says there's a lot of
Yeah.
limitations that they recognize.
They're trying to figure it
And
out.
they're trying to figure it out, and I thank you for trying to figure that out, and I also hear the real concern of the neighbors that this is a difficult situation. It was the purchase under kind of a difficult situation, and Melanie was a difficult challenge to have as a neighbor, and so we've got this legacy.
Everybody's aware of that.
yes, so I'm just giving a little
But-
history
but
because we gotta move forward
things
from this
Also
point.
played in.
Doug,
We have to-
Janice is speaking,
Okay.
can you stop until
Yeah.
she's done?
So
Thank
if,
you.
I would like to know how we can move forward, and it's gonna, I think, the neighbors would like this done, because it's dragged on a long time. And I'd like to see if you can meet town rules.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I'd like,
I'm
that's my
trying to.
job,
That's
see if
what
the
we're trying
neighbor
to
can
get to.
meet the specs. And You know, I don't know what the truth is about the septic system and looking at the state, I'd like a report of the state. I think we need to, I mean, that's not even our purview other than, you know, the state is gonna either say grant him a septic permit or not. You know, we can say, oh, you can build there if you get a septic permit, if he meets all the variance requirements. And we don't know that right now because it doesn't sound like we have a survey plan, because they need more time.
Yeah.
And that's what I see in an email.
Yeah, they asked for more time, but they just didn't have enough time to do it in the 30 days from last time.
Right.
Not only that, when Chase and Chase receives something like this. you
Fair,
cannot
yeah.
have survey
Okay,
plan.
that's right,
I had a very lengthy conversation with Derek,
okay.
Evans. He did
And
not,
he is from Chase and Chase.
and he's from Chase and Chase. He did not say that there was some document, and I'm gonna look and hunt for whatever that is, but right now I'm just trying to send these emails that are in evidence to Ryan and to Judy, but I don't seem to have
And Chris.
I don't have Chris's email.
Chris, can you put in the chat your email, or you have it, Adam, did you say?
Adam has it.
Yeah. Okay.
I have it too.
Understanding that this has gone on for a long time and neighbors have shown up again and again. I understand there's been some complications, what, you know, if we were to close this out for now, that doesn't preclude being able to open it up again. Like, I'm just asking the question to,
Actually, I got questions I need to.
okay,
Wait,
well, I
yeah,
was
you'll
trying to
have
get
a
an answer to my question first, Karen?
Just a second, I gotta do this.
Keep directing Karen to do too many.
Yes, I know, I'm, this is just a question that I have, and I don't know the perspective of.
Procedurally, you can table an item. And with that, so in order to continue a hearing, you have to set a date. If you table an item, it can remain there until you take it off the table.
Yeah.
So it's not determined. I don't know what that means in terms of the permit application for a variance but I do know that if we don't act if we don't act on it, then he gets his variance. If we don't do our job, he gets it.
I want to point out that the minutes do say that the receipts, I gotta find it again.
I have to go back from,
To his occupancy of the trailer.
not from all the way back to
Right.
his mother's occupancy.
So when did you move into the trailer, Devin?
It was, my mother died like a year ago, so it's somewhere right around there.
Okay.
So this isn't sufficient?
Well, that's the first time since I lived there that I had a
Oh,
pump.
okay, I didn't understand
Yeah.
that, thank you.
We're good,
So,
go ahead.
no, is there a question?
Did you have a question?
Actually, I'm trying to figure this out, why you've got legit water, legit power, we've got a bunch of neighbors that are involved. In this, what is your benefit from this? We're trying to update the property, we're trying to make the property usable, feasible. Actually, I wanna put a house on that property, small house, not a big house. And we've got all this big battle going on over a septic system, which Kingsbury has already inspected the tank. Said the tank was worthy, we don't know about the field. We don't know if the tank's 100%, if it's a polyethylene tank, I'm in the building business, I've built all my life. I remodel a lot of homes, I do a lot of projects for a lot of people. And I know a lot of people. Why is there this undue burden against my son in question on the tank, on the field and everything, without giving a proper time? His mom just died, what, a year ago? And we're taking on a responsibility that she left them. I'm here for my kids, I'm not here for my own benefit. If you're here for your own benefit, you're worried about the waterways, you're worried about the septic leaching into the brook. Totally acceptable, totally. But what is your agenda in love?
And just so I can like clarify, let you all answer too, you know, for this being at the DRB. Because within the boundaries of a small property, you would need to get variances, right, in order to build there, so that's what's in front of us, and we don't have. Drawings that give us the clarity, that's why I've chased
Well,
my,
when you give my son a drawing.
I don't know
this.
what happened with that.
He
so
was
that's-
responsible.
Yeah, but how long ago did they send that drawing to
This
us?
is.
Has he asked for a
an
new copy?
official Piece
This
of
is
paper.
just
From
from
the
the contract,
town of
within the
Plainfield.
last 30 days. This is what
This
Chase
is-
sent us.
Well, this is what Chase received.
Yeah, from.
Aaron said,
A surveyor,
It came
Yes,
from
sir.
Ned,
came from Ned
yeah.
A surveyor can survey the property with,
about that.
Right,
Without-
right,
without
we can spend a couple of $5,000-6,000 surveying the property, getting it legit, that's not a big deal.
okay,
But when you send somebody paperwork in this diagram, I know I got a lot of friends in Plainfield, and if you ever sent them this, they would be
They
ashamed.
come-
well, wouldn't they call like the next day and say, can you send me a new copy?
Yeah.
Not 30 days later?
I'm sorry, you need to bump
Oh,
it.
you're
It's
fine.
not about the 30 days
So
later.
hang on.
Well, hold on, I haven't thought that.
We're
What-
done, let's move forward, okay, thank you,
Yeah.
we hear your point,
Yeah.
thank you,
Okay.
Karen and then Adam.
So,
Can I say something about that map though? I thought that is just showing where the floodplain starts from the road, 88 feet.
so this,
And because
She can
it's not
answer
a
this question,
diagram, you
she
don't
can answer
know.
questions.
could you please?
Yeah.
Okay, so this. I sent something to Ned, okay?
And who is Ned?
Ned Swansburg is the guy from the state,
He's
okay?
state wastewater enforcement,
No, he's
floodplain,
He's
floodplain, okay, this is
So
what we're
he's
dealing with,
involved
floodplain,
because of the
Yeah.
inundation, right?
right,
So I'm
That
trying to
boundary.
find, so there must be, and by the way, this email is from 2021. This email chain is from 2021.
That's,
it goes back to when Melanie was occupying the property.
Oh, okay.
that's not even legit, has
So,
to be updated.
so I'm going through the email chain, which is a very long. Okay, so we tried to set during this email chain, which was happening in May of 2021.
Oh, I was wondering why it said date and ground as the email.
Right, so this is when Ned and I were trying to set up an appointment with your mother
Okay.
to meet, to find for Ned, who's the one who did, like, he and I go out to determine floodplain, you know, site, what needs to be
Yeah,
done.
the
okay?
special flood zone.
Right, so Ned and I arrived. And your mother refused us to be able to go on the property,
Oh, okay.
okay, so then,
I was married to her, she's a very difficult lady, trust me.
okay,
I got three
Right,
beautiful
whatever.
kids. And
Okay.
grandkids.
So this is all from an email chain that happened a long time ago. I'm trying to find the one that has. That's from that one of the email chains.
This photograph of Blackman.
Well, I haven't figured that one out yet, I haven't found it yet. But you have to remember, I have a zillion emails on Ned and a zillion emails from Ned and a zillion emails from. In regards to this property, so I'm gonna have to spend more time like
Thank you.
looking for that particular one, but my guess is that map tells you. The black, and it says my property, which is interesting.
Doesn't tell us anything.
It doesn't tell us anything, except for it tells me there's 30 feet,
Can't see
150
anything, it
feet, and
doesn't tell you.
88 feet, and I know I saw a map about that somewhere, I just will have to look.
Right, and that's
There we
to,
go.
from the road to the special
There we-
flood zone, I believe.
It's that map is worthless.
Right, but it didn't, but it's from a 2021 email. Okay, as far as I can tell, but I will keep looking.
Alright, let's just keep moving forward, so we're not here all night.
Right.
Adam,
just
I agree.
briefly, I think this is consistent with what you were saying, Zach. I think I can speak only for myself, but as a neighboring landowner, we're just interested in making sure the zoning rules are followed.
Okay.
And if a variance is requested, that the rules of the variance process is followed,
Totally understand.
those rules are followed.
Absolutely.
And several times, the applicant has been asked to bring a survey and other evidence of compliance. And the survey is something different, and in addition to the water issues, the setback. I mean, I think it's acknowledged by the applicant that it does not, this proposed building does not comply with zoning. Right, and you need a variance in order
Right.
for it to go.
Yeah.
And that's why a survey is needed, so the board and neighbors can see exactly where it is.
Well, that's what
And
Jason's
can I- may I
Let him
finish?
finish.
May I
Let
finish?
him finish.
Okay,
That's why.
and it's the
we have
applicant's,
it.
Let him finish.
Sorry.
it's the applicant's responsibility to find the necessary documentation to be able to survey the property.
Actually,
Which I
believe
feel
it or
like I'm
not,
trying to to the
the
best of my.
town, the town is not supposed to.
May I
relay
finish?
this information.
I guess not. Maybe I'll talk again later.
Mary,
I don't see that we have received the information that we need.
we haven't, and I do have an email from David that he sent me this evening, and I'd like to share it with you all because this is his, this is from Craig Chase. And it's dated December 5th, which was last week. And it was forwarded from, this is an email from Derek Bevins, and you said you had a long conversation with Derek Bevins over there? And should I read this email or you want to tell us?
I don't know what I don't know what the email says.
Okay, so it says, Craig, yes, I met with Devin's father Doug at the property and we've done some research into the zoning file and there's a long history of the property and a list of bullet points we need to meet to get through the DRB. Devin needs to file a continuance at the December 11th meeting to give us more time to get what he needs done. And it's going to cost more than the septic design we have quoted, thank you. And then Craig writes back, received this from David Lynch, has anyone had any contact with him? And then David, this is November 23rd, so I'm going back in time. And that was, good morning Craig, Chris came out to the property, he said we could just update the leach field, my father met with him. I guess we gave him some money down to figure this out, like I said, the first thing we really need is a digital drawing showing base blueprint for the purpose building with the dimensions of 18 feet by 24, where the 100-year floodplain, hazardous floodplain is running through a lot. So and the septic design and the boundary line, so and the lot of the lot. I did this, but it doesn't show the hazard flood zone, so he has a photograph of the drawing submitted at the first hearing. But it doesn't show the flood hazardous zone, no one has told me the distance. It comes on my lot, the rear property. So he's been in touch with Craig Chase again on November 14th. And so I'm going back, there's an email on November 13th, October 7th. So he's been in touch with Craig Chase, the owner, since October 7th. Okay, and working on this issue. That's what and I can read all of that to you, but the other ones are just about making a deposit for the work.
So I believe at the September meeting, we asked for a bunch of documents, which included the survey, and we still haven't received them. That's a fact.
Karen, do you want to speak about what you spoke to from?
I just said, it's in evidence, right, the email that I sent to him. To Derek.
So no matter what, I came into this 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
It was impossible for me to have a survey done because Craig Chase and Derek were out hunting for 2 weeks. It would not have happened no matter what.
That was back in
So
September.
I
we
don't,
started this
I'm
process.
still trying to figure out. Why you won't give Devin a continuance. When we're actually working at this and trying to resolve this in a manly fashion. We have people
You don't
involved.
know that we're not going to give them a continuance.
I think what Barry wants is just, is to try to say, there's been this period of time and we've been asking for these documents. And they're
Yes.
not here at this meeting, that's what I hear you saying.
And you're using up our time while we're waiting for these documents.
Well, Chase is the ones doing the whole project, the surveying, the septic
Yeah,
designs.
it's about the dollar amount too. The dollar amount is always involved in everything, no matter what we do. Okay? And furthermore. When you give Chase something like this, and they come back to me and ask me, what is this?
Right.
Did. I don't know.
Karen
What's
wants to
going on
speak,
in
thank
town?
you, Doug,
So
appreciate it.
I spoke to, I have to look at my calendar, but I spoke to Devin, not
Derek.
Devin, Derek, sorry, whatever.
There,
Derek, I spoke to Derek, I have to look up for the exact date, but it's after the last in that email chain.
which was in November,
I had an email, there's an email chain which. says I
November
needed-
21st.
Yeah, somewhere in there, he called and we had a long conversation, he didn't mention that he had a bad map or anything to me, he just basically talked about two things. One, he was unclear about the list, so I gave him the list. We talked about inundation, the need for the survey. We also talked about the notice of violation for the septic. And that-
Septic being violated.
yeah, there's a notice of violation that was given to.
I thought that was for living in the camper more than 180 days.
But you have a notice of an alleged violation that hasn't been cleared by Ryan McCall, so.
From the state.
There's a note in the chat from Ryan Christensen that the state of Vermont said the tank can't be used, I don't.
I talked to Ryan McCall just tonight and he was writing up an affidavit and gonna try to call Joanne and them because they still seem to think that the leach field and everything is fine because Joanne and them were putting campers there and using it in the period of time before my mother purchased the property.
Not only that, it was inspected by Kingsbury
There
Construction.
was,
which is
this is
very-
Kim Nolan, 134 Bean Road, there was never ever a camper put on there prior to your mother's. There was a mobile home which belonged to Baker, the
And
town
which
paid
was
to take
used.
care of that down,
People were
In
living in them.
2017.
people were living in it.
until he vacated it.
In 2017.
I don't remember the
it was-
date.
That's what I was reading.
The
Could be.
town of Plainfield actually took the camera.
Yes, we did,
I was just looking at the timeline here, okay?
because we all complained there was rats that were coming onto our properties because it was left abandoned, so the town
Which
paid
is
$2,000.
Yeah, there was
I'm
squatters, I
speaking,
guess.
please.
Yeah.
The town paid $2,000 to clean up that lot. The value of the property was dropped for
So-
tax purposes. And there was
What-
never another camper on there till your mother moved that one on that she
Appreciate
bought
the
from
clarity
us.
of that information, we're being given so much information that's actually outside of what we can do, which is unfortunate. There are pieces like, there's the select board. Dan, do you know what's going on with the select board and 79 Bean Road? Do you have a report?
I mean, the last I knew is on November 13th, the select board moved to, no, I've just lost it, I had it, let me find it again, sorry. Yeah, we just moved to fine, both Melanie Sargent Estate and Devin Lynch for the violation around overstaying the occupancy on the camper. That's in litigation, I believe there's still court dates happening, but there is an active fine levied against Devin and the property.
So I feel like if we were, what I know legally is if we are to deny this permit tonight based on lack of evidence to be able to judge, which is where we are today. We don't have enough information to rule on a variance, because we don't have the required
data.
information, okay? If we were to deny the permit, he couldn't apply for another one. And that would be
Is
dumb,
that, I mean, is that true?
right? You can't apply for another, a permit if we deny a permit for a variance. You can't reapply for it, I don't
I
think
don't-
legally.
I don't believe, there's
You
nothing
can
that prevents
appeal it,
him, he can,
you
so
can
he
appeal
can,
it, reapply, but
Can
it's.
you finish so
Let
Karen
me
can
finish, let's sit here.
so. Couple different steps, right? You can, if, whatever happens tonight, whether you approve the variance
Or
Or-
continues,
or deny the variance, okay?
right?
It can go to the, it will go.
It'll be appealed.
There'll be there could be an appeal, and then it would go to the environmental court, and then the environmental court would be involved, and all these documentations would have to go to them, and. That would end up in E-court, and then E-court would make a decision about whether to uphold whatever decision you happen to make. If no one, if you continue it. And give them a I mean,
A date,
like, but Jason Chase, as he says, is very, very busy,
right,
and so.
it's not gonna be any time soon that we can continue
Right,
the hearing.
but because Chase is very busy, they're very reliable, they're very good at their job. And
That's why I heard it,
yeah, so, but it's probably 3 months out, I would guess, or.
3 to 6, but at the same time, that's about when you could even build or anything anyway.
My feeling is that there's a lot going on with this property, with this with the town, the select board, the fines. And your desire to build there, and I can't rule on it because we don't have the information. So we have a choice, we could deny it based on the lack of evidence, board,
Yes,
or we can continue it. But we have to, when you continue, you have to schedule a date, Or
And
you can-
guidelines,
what,
and guidelines. Yeah, that I have to have a
And
survey and.
if you
the rest of the
continue it.
information. Yes.
Yes, you can also table it, my understanding, Robert Rules of Order, you can table it. And then it's just this issue waiting to be taken off the table. And if we don't, and the only reason we take it off the table is if things were resolved here. And then, so that would be, all these other issues which are outstanding would have to be resolved, because I can tell you, if you meet the variance setbacks, I would still make conditions personally, and I'd ask my board to support this, that these other unresolved issues would have to also be resolved.
Which that's what we're working on.
Right.
anyway, which-
And so I feel like we're not the front, we would still condition our acceptance of a building permit if you met all those all those variances. Based on, I mean, I would ask for that, just because it's such a complicated situation, I feel like that's a condition to meet the needs of the community as well as your needs as property owners.
Absolutely.
You know, because what I hear from the neighbors is the thing you're most upset about is the lack of following the rules that we all have to live by.
Exactly.
And it's a very hard place, and also there was disturbance, difficult to, relations, and I think that can be corrected, relationships can change, when things can improve, when fines are paid, when rules are followed, right? And that,
How are you gonna pay fines of $238,000?
that is not up to me to figure out, I'm saying I put a
Right.
condition,
Excuse me.
It's
But
not-
all that has to be
200
resolved,
$276,400.
that's as of today,
Well, that's what
Yeah.
What?
it was the $200 a day, which is the fine for every day that the occupancy was over the
I
100
did,
days.
during a period of time that no one even.
Yes.
No, this is from when,
No.
when the occupancy was over through, yes, so it's the estate, Melanie's estate, which would include the property itself and Devin as
the other.
the person who's continued the occupancy. The
Alright.
lawyers should have all this,
What?
there was a letter sent to
Right.
Devin and to the estate.
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, you guys,
$270.
Doug and Devin and Dan,
That's a different issue, that's.
Yeah.
those are all
I'm sure you
things
wanna continue that,
outside
but-
are, but
Apologies.
these are
No, no.
conditions, that are not within our purview, but they do affect 79B. And I think that as a town, we all have to try our best to work on this together.
You
Um,
got property with power, water.
So-
System. And you.
I want,
My son.
I'm gonna ask our
I
board
think
because
it's
we
time
have
I
another
close that.
hearing,
I'm gonna make a
what's the say in
motion.
favor?
To deny the permit. For lack of evidence.
This is a really hard one, I think. I'm in a second, but I know you're showing good faith, it's just been a long process and there's a lot.
Well, I mean,
applications.
Chase is the one who
I-
asked for more time to design and do the surveying. They're the ones who asked me to try to get a continuance.
No one wants to get out overnight.
If the board does deny it, it can be appealed.
The other factor here is that, you know, we tend to be pretty favorable board, but that's when neighbors are able to work things out. I know this is difficult, there's a lot of history here, but clearly that hasn't happened. And the variance also takes into account consideration of neighbors
Yeah,
as well.
It does.
Which I've only done everything that the town's asked me and the neighbors, really, I don't do anything wrong to neighbors, I was asked to clean up the property, I cleaned up the property. All I've done, what do you mean I did, there was trash right up to the road when I moved in there and I had to pay to get
Yeah,
rid
the
of all that
stuff that in
trash.
2 junk cars sitting in the dooryard.
Those cars were on,
You got it.
and one was my dead mother,
Hey,
sorry.
you guys,
I
we have
was-
another
You
hearing.
got this, you got
Sorry
this,
that
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
such a
It's,
contentious issue.
should we go
We
look
got
at
a
your house
motion in a second.
Yeah.
and see if there's junk there?
You'd love to.
Call for a
I'm
vote.
gonna call for a vote.
Everybody
All
has
in
junk.
favor of the motion, which is to deny the permit, say aye.
Aye.
Do we need 3 to vote on the?
You have to pick
do something.
I nay or abstain.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
pick
but
one
I-
of 3.
3, if being a board of 3, we don't need a majority.
I think you're a board.
A board of 5, so
you're
we all
quorum
need.
of the 3.
Quorum to have a meeting, but for the vote, it's the majority, isn't it?
I think it's the majority of the members.
Okay.
No.
That's not how the select board works, but I'm not.
Oh, really?
The select board, when we moved it to 5 people and there were only 3, all 3 of them had to vote for something else.
But we're not.
It's not how my.
Well, I know, I just don't know, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The DRB policy, give me a minute on. Give me a
Yeah.
minute.
Are you unable to make,
I
say
would
aye?
abstain if I could,
Okay.
but I will say yes if the vote is needed because of the
So explain this voting to me.
well, they're still in the middle of votes, they're not gonna explain it to you.
and Karen's gonna look.
Actually, you're obligated to explain it.
After
too.
the vote is
Oh, yes.
completed. The vote is still not completed.
Okay.
Could you look in the zoning regulations while I look at something else? That talks about the DRB. I believe in the zoning regulations, but it's regulated policy.
In here or online?
In here,
Do you have any idea what you would search for? I've got it open online.
well, I'm reading right now, I'm reading the DRB policy from 2009 term of office. I'm trying to see if it.
It's not in, those stuff is not in here.
When we established the DRB, there is something in there, in the zoning, but I'm reading the other thing right now.
I don't see it.
Okay, that one doesn't have anything that can help.
Here, that is violation.
The creation of DRB is in the zoning, I believe, but let me look at something else.
I mean, I totally respect what you guys are asking for. I told them, I want everything legit. I own property in Norfolk. I bought property in Norfolk. I want it legit, no matter what. Everybody wants that. But extenuating circumstances. He lost his mom. He developed the property, all of a sudden get
It
dropped.
just takes time to do it.
I
all.
understand.
And it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in 6 months. It may not happen.
Well, I think the other issue is that because you don't have a permit to live there, You would have the not
Right.
half a year to the 6 months, or you're gonna end up in the same situation that the property is because of your mom.
Not necessarily, but at the same time, you're right. It follows the same suit, which my daughter is still fighting to get the
Yes,
property in
Karen.
her name. This
So
stuff
there's
is-
another
it's not
issue
even
here.
in.
Alright, so let's go. Yes, excuse me, Karen,
2011 zoning regulations, section 2.7 development review board. Plainville has a development review board consisting of 5 members appointed by the select board for terms of 3 years, except for the initial term, which were set forth on 3/1/2010. Members of the development review board shall be limited to 9 consecutive years of service. Any member so shall be ineligible for reappointment for 1 year, or for appointment to the planning commission for 1 year. Rules and procedures, nature of appeals, public notices, conditions of variance, relief, and all other matters shall be provided in subchapter 8.
right.
So, well, I was trying to get, I mean, I wanted like,
Quorum, I think it's Robert's rules, isn't it? Well, I say we take a vote, we have two nays, and I'd say for.
2 on it.
Two ayes, and I think that if this is the majority, we need 2 out of 3, and I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
And that's gonna be our vote.
Okay,
I would like to see it worked out for the best of everybody, and that's a hard situation in this time. And there's lots, it sounds like even more complication in your family, I'm very sorry
Well,
for everybody's situation. I'm
the
gonna
types of
this.
situation that we,
And you can continue to pursue your attempt to get a permit to build, I think you just, I don't know the route. I don't know what that route would be because of all these other
well, actually,
externalities.
it's technically speaking, the property is legally valued to build on. It has power, it has water, and it has sewer.
And it's a irregular lot, that needs
It's-
a variance
yes,
to build
it's-
a pond.
It is a very irregular lot,
With the-
which is regardless, is not that big an issue. I developed.
You're right, that's not the issue here, it's
That's
that
not the issue.
it's not that is there, that the information hasn't been
question-
provided
question
and
here
there's a
is
lot of
whether
issues,
the
externalities.
system that
around
is
it.
there is legit. Is basically what the question is.
Well, we can't judge on that because we don't have the information.
Right.
I mean, my biggest
And
thing is the special,
Understand.
the special flood hazard area and how that impacts.
Hey,
what
And
the
we've been
variance
at
is.
this since
right, which-
September.
which-
Well, cause that's what I think that is, that form was, that was blacked out,
Yeah.
was 88 feet from the road, which. My proposed building is
Yeah,
only
it-
60 feet from the road, so it's not. In
Was-
the 88-foot special floodplain.
may I suggest that
This
if
meter
you had
should have never
submitted,
been distributed.
when you submitted your permit application, if you had had all the information in hand that we're requesting from you, this wouldn't have been a big issue.
I know, ma'am, but at first it started with only filling out the zoning application, then they wanted me to get this, then they wanted me to get this. This whole, every part here are all stuff that they've asked me to do over and over again, and every time I bring more in, and I give you more of it. And it's just another thing,
Instead of somebody explaining the whole situation to him, they piece him apart. Which, if technically speaking, is not the right way to go about it.
Well, I'm sorry for the difficult situation for
very-
everybody here.
Yes, thank you.
We got another hearing, so I wish you the best.
Yeah. I'm not happy with the result, I'm not happy with the result, but, you know.
Well, thank you for your time.
For your efforts.
So, it was continuous tonight, or-
No, we didn't
No,
get
it's
it
denied.
It was denied, the permit was denied, so you,
I got to appeal, so right at this point in time, I ask you guys. This property is being.
you could, the select board has a suit against it that's got fines too, so it's also, there's that, it's not a black and white situation.
Right.
So I can't answer that, because what we have here is a very narrow part of the bigger picture. I don't necessarily think it's the best way to make decisions, but that's what we have.
It might help.
but
He was out there.
I mean, so
But he's back.
what we've been here talking has anything to do with the value of the property.
Yeah, no, I heard he was out, but he's doing better.
So, 10 minutes.
Oh. Well, I'm glad he's back out.
Yes, he is.
We need him.
Alright, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I get really bad choice. The next time, you're gonna get frustrated. Yeah,
I appreciate you.
You too, and I appreciate what your son's doing, trying to build a house. It's just, it's been a difficult process, we had to find a result. People come out and.
Right. Right, we're not trying to get away with it.
No,
We're trying
we understand,
to.
you're trying
We
to,
understand.
we understand that, so.
We. Burden ourselves. The idea is to have a burden.
I understand.
So it doesn't lay well.
It's not, yeah, well, I wish the best for everybody, all right? We haven't had a hearing that had that,
That's my.
but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. It's been a process.
It's not over, but that part's over.
Yeah, it's just.
So- Right, yes.
Hello,
Okay.
this is our next hearing.
Sorry, guys, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Devin, nice to meet you, best wishes.
Oh, if the hearing is supposed to be at 7:40 and it's now 7:56.
So the hearing begins at 7:56.
Okay,
So we made that decision for the 79 Bean Road. Now we're at Caitlin Rosine and Eric Schultz.
Schulteis.
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 Thank you. A variance for setback in forest and agriculture land district. And we did look at, let's find that permit, it would be right here. It's a hearing, so I'm gonna need to swear anybody who's here to speak on the issue. I'm gonna need to affirm you into. So if you could raise your right hand, anybody who plans to speak, and take the following oath. I hereby affirm that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pain and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. There's just the two of you, I think, online, and the permit. What did I do with it?
Got it here.
I probably stuck it in my,
It's in.
Right here.
Yeah.
here we go, so,
If you're online, Mary, it's on the DRB website.
okay, I'm trying to look in my emails, but I'll go on the website.
this is at Gagne Road, and it's the building, we saw the map last month where this is,
Sarah Albert's old home.
say it again?
Sarah Albert's old home.
Yes.
You know her? Yep. Yep.
She was on the DRB for a long time with
Yes.
us. So you have this, just tell us, because we did look at this, the driveway to access this property is where?
So the driveway is the dotted line on that map. So it goes to the corner of our property, and then we have an easement over Alec, who's our neighbor, who's also on screen right now. We have an easement to Gagne Road across their property.
So that's what that is, that's an easement right there along your
Yep.
property.
There's the road there.
Correct.
Gagne Road. And you have a proposal for an addition on, I wish I had a compass, but on the from the map on the left side, and then a 3-season porch on the right side. And the house already is within the 50
It's
foot.
a carport on the right. Just-
It's a carport on the right. Yep. Correct.
3-season porch.
That's on the
what I
back.
was- That's already existing, thank you for clarifying, both of you. So the house and almost everything but the porch is already existing within the 50 foot setback. So. What we have, this is This is a variance, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So why don't we go through the variance list of things that a variance has to meet, all right? I had that out just a minute ago. Variances, section 2.9, we'll go through them, okay? So, one, now what I understand is that a variance has to meet all 5 of these conditions to be, and then we can also set conditions on a variance. So, there are unique physical circumstances or conditions, including irregularity, narrowness, or shallowness of the lot size or shape, or exceptional topography, or other physical conditions particular to the particular property, and that unnecessary hardship is due to such conditions and not the circumstances or conditions generally created by the provisions of the zoning regulation in the neighborhood or district in which the property is located. So that's saying that there's unique physical conditions to the lot shape or size. I would say that actually the zoning regulations are creating the challenge with the 50-foot setback. But the house is already existing probably before zoning 50-foot set.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we discussed this last time, where this doesn't create any narrowness in that encroachment. It doesn't encroach further into that setback.
Right, doesn't create a further, other than its larger square footage, it doesn't further create a non-conforming situation. Okay, that because of such physical circumstances or conditions, there's no possibility that the property can be developed in strict conformity with the provision of the zoning regulations, and that the authorization of a variance is therefore necessary to enable the reasonable use of the property. I would agree with number 2, that adding a proposed carport and a small addition of 10.5 by 21 is not making it, well, it's not making it additionally out of compliance, yeah. That unnecessary hardship has not been created by the appellant, no, because you didn't build the house, did you, right there?
Nope.
That the variance, if authorized will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood or district in which the property is located, substantially or permanently impair appropriate use or development of adjacent property, reduce access to renewable energy resources, nor be detrimental to the public welfare. And that's where the neighbors here, since it is affecting, it's within the 50-foot setback, which I think is really designed for neighborliness. We'd like your opinion. I know you wrote us a letter, Alec, but we'd be happy for the record. Do you also speak your position on this variance request?
No, there's no opposition. I think the whole point is, I think this used to be one single property, and I think it was subdivided sometime back by Sarah to allow her to sell currently our property, which is 5 acres, on which our house was built. So I think if she had subdivided it differently, a little bit further away from her own house, she would have had a lot more, allowance there, a lot more than 50 feet, because she subdivided it within the 50-feet margin to begin with. So, which is, you know what I mean? Like, and then you pass the 50-foot thing. So, like, the whole thing was created artificially to begin with. So I think there's absolutely no reason why Eric and Caitlin shouldn't build what they want right to the property line.
Well, and it's the odd thing, because Sarah was involved in creating the zoning ordinance. She was the zoning administrator.
And she did right of ways.
And she did right away.
Right, right.
Did your house that's there on the map, was that built after she subdivided then?
I think so. I don't know. Eric, do you know more about this?
Yeah, so it was actually the people before Sarah who subdivided it. So where Alec and Dawn are was vacant, so it's empty land, and our house started out as a hunting cabin. So there's actually like the remnants of a double wide inside the house. And they split it up, and this was probably, well, I mean, the setbacks were at least 20 feet back then. They might have even been less. I don't even know if there was a zoning ordinance in the town. So let's see, Sarah bought the house in what, the 80s? So, it had to be before then. So our property and Alex's property, well, what's now Alex's property used to share a common well, which caused some neighborly tension. So now we're on not between Alec and I. But so it was, I think originally our house was a hunting camp, and the property was subdivided before there was the 50-foot setback requirement. So the entirety of the house wasn't in needing a variance to build on. And I know when the owners before Alec, when they put an addition on, then I think it was Linda, maybe. I don't know. You had to get that strip of land, Alec, to bring your property into the minimum of 5 acres.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's great. I always am interested in the history of zoning variances.
Yeah, just to note, I mean, the images provided, they look very much in character of.
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't look like that's gonna alter the neighborhood by putting those in there.
great, thank you. Okay, the last one, that the variance, if authorized, will represent the minimum variance, and that will afford relief and will represent the least deviation possible from the zoning regulations and from the plan. And I think that's very
Yeah,
clear.
we're not changing that at all.
Right, not moving closer to this property boundary.
All right.
So, in setting a variance. Okay, that's if it's appeal. I think that, is there another part we have to do, just the variance? So we can set conditions if we need, but so are there any conditions that the board feels there needs to be set? So can we take a motion to approve this variance?
Yeah, I would move to approve the property line variance.
Not the property line,
Oh,
though.
the
It's a variance for building.
variance for building
Yeah.
Within set.
Within
the property line setback.
Within set property line setback.
Yes.
You want?
Yes, second.
There's no discussion. I'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we granted you your permit, variance for your permit, and
Thank you
since
so much.
nobody here but Dan, I don't think you have to worry about appeal. Okay, I will sign this, granted. That was easy. Well.
Great, thank you so much, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. My wife was looking at the Facebook page, and her coworker was stuck on the side of the road for an hour, and I was like, oh God, it's too dangerous. So thank you all for showing up. Appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't be there.
Problem. This was an easy one, so.
Yeah, well, best of luck of your addition.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good evening. Find
His
the book
phone,
and,
is that anybody here's?
yeah, somebody left their phone right,
Oh, yeah.
that might be the other, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably trying to find it.
All right, I'm gonna take a motion to, oh, no, we have more business, so let me keep it going.
Well, I
We
want
do have more, we have two more business, one more business.
well, I mean, we have some
Sorry.
minutes to approve, right?
We are approved now.
Okay, cause I was down there playing with the
Yeah,
dogs.
we did that.
What else?
So I was wondering if we wanted to have the Bearish Estate subdivision. Meeting at the town hearing at the town hall, considering that they have 12 abutters.
Mm.
And the family.
Yes, I think that would be a really good idea to have it at the town hall, if we can get it.
Yes,
Okay,
cause I'm trying to work on the paperwork for that, so, but I was thinking like. If the neighbors are concerned, and I don't know if they will be, but there's 12 of them,
Mhm.
so you could have a full house.
yeah, location, January 8th, meeting at the parish. is-
Okay, so I will request from the powers to be. And then I have to find out whether or not we can use the same Zoom.
Over there, Zoom,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can read that.
okay. The
Oh,
narrative, but you have something else?
January 8th, is that what we said it for?
Are you away?
I think I'm away, yeah.
Then we need another select board.
Then you need to have Will. Will's around. I mean, he can always do Zoom. I'll find that out from Will.
We have to postpone it 1 month, maybe that would help us.
We'll figure that out.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I'm traveling for
oh, I'm sorry, to hear that.
Not fine, not there anywhere. So you might have to.
I can email Devin and tell him his dad's phone's here, and I'll do that after the meeting's over.
So you leave the recording on?
So I just wanna make a formal proposed, note in our meeting minutes that, I wrote. The town report, the development report, review board's town report narrative, and Mary made some edits on it, and I would like us all just to support it as written to submit to the.
I approve.
All right,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a vote or anything, I just want it in the minutes as a record, and then Karen, can you help me with this, cause I got a message from the DRB Francis, and they said that, we need to submit a budget, and yet we don't really handle the finances of the DRB, and over the years, I would ask the town clerk to give me our budget and how much was spent, and then we'd go over it, but really. We've minimized, is my recollection, that all the printing and everything you do is now coming out of the zoning budget, it's not in the DRBs.
So the whole, it's my time gets goes to DRB if I'm doing DRB prep or information for DRB, whatever. And I usually have in the beginning of the year, I would get a roll of 100
Yeah.
stamps for the DRB, 100 for the zoning administrator. So we need a roll, usually a roll of stamps, at the beginning of the year. And then my time, which is
not in our budget, is it?
I do charge it to DRB.
Okay,
so
so
it-
DRB would be ZA time,
Yeah, but I charge this DRB in my bill, so
And
they
then
have that
there's-
separate,
okay,
And there's the administrative assistant.
and then the administrative assistant.
time, yeah,
And
alright,
then there would be not the cost from the Times Argus for
publication.
publications.
And then there would be also the lawyers.
I assume.
Yeah, we have a budget for lawyers, and but I still have to go through the select board to approve that. And then there's usually a training, but we haven't been using training, so this year I would think, because the budget's so tight for the town, I could just say we don't need any training money. And just to help the town out.
Yeah.
And I can, I don't have those numbers, but Dan, do you think if I just said this is what we
Yeah, what,
could use last year's numbers?
what I would do, and Francis Rose is reaching out to we're trying to get ahead, we've had some not great town meetings with not great town budgets the last couple of years, and so we're just trying to and so I think we're just trying to be inclusionary to everybody, so we've had, let's reach out to the DRB, let's reach out to the plan, hopefully they've reach out to you as well, but maybe not. But what I would do with those things is I would bring that list to Josh, the treasurer. And just, cause he's working with he's working with other departments on their budgets, and just say, here are the line items I know of, can you pull what we spent on those last year? And then you can probably make a budget.
Can I
that's
find
basically
his
the same.
email on the
He's
town?
the town treasurer,
So I can find it
Yep.
online, okay?
yep, treasurer at Plainfield. PC.
Okay, I'll send that.
So my deal with the select board is, I can work up to X amount of hours,
Mhm.
and so they budget for.
Okay,
they
and maybe it's not
budget
separate
whatever
budget, yeah.
But hours for zoning administrator. there's more hours for flood and I don't know how they're gonna handle that because
Yeah.
I have to do flood separate now too, so.
Yeah,
So mostly mine is like, I get supposed to work 10 hours a week for what?
so we got approved and we applied for, from the bond bank, a bond, a loan for $1 million. And what that is a line of credit, and so for all the flood stuff, we borrow against that line of credit and then we use the FEMA money to pay back that line of credit, basically. So we don't have to pull it out of town treasury.
Great.
So, but yeah, I would just check in, cause we were trying to finalize by the first week of January, the town budget, so we can have everything out for proper town meeting day, posting and all the things that we have to do.
Okay, so I'm a little overwhelmed by the fact that I'm moving.
You're moving
Yeah, well, I moved it, short of moved.
out of your family farmhouse?
Yeah, into my mother's family home.
Oh, that's right, Marshfield.
I know, my, our house is too big for my husband, he has COPD, so I've been moving to my apartment. You know, box by box, you know, so the house is still, you know, whatever, so just wanna say, like, if I'm missing something, or you know, don't, you know.
Don't hate you.
Don't hate me, or don't say, Karen, did you do this? And it is hard not having Kristen right now, because now I have to collect all the stuff and get it to Bob. Which is the next step for me, and I don't have a good working computer. And I don't have a printer that works with my computer, and I can't get the town, and this is my school Chromebook. And I can't I can't print to the town printer. So like, you know, I have all these like glitches.
Barriers.
Why can't you print to the town's printer?
Because I have to come in when there's a real person here who will connect my computer to it, and my old computer I wasn't gonna replace because I didn't wanna, was gonna not continue to struggle. So I'm sort of like piecemealing like all this stuff to get done because I don't have proper
Access.
access, and I'm a little overwhelmed with,
Moving.
well,
Right.
Christmas time with my 100 natives.
Should we close the formal meeting?
Yes, let's, well, so I think we're done with all our questions and, we'll figure out about how covering you for January, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, you wanna turn that off?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, and
I-
we save it to the cloud, it should just do it itself if you make sure you
Okay.
save it.
So I hit end and then it will ask me,
You
right?
can just hit the little, you can hit the, yeah, or the stop if you're.
Aaron, where would we wanna leave that phone, up here?